What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing with our NFL free agency 2020 move rebuilds. Probably going to be the last one. I haven't really seen a suggestion after this that really is worth going in and doing an entirely different rebuild just based off an acquisition. Now, there's obviously teams like Houston who doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins, or you have, New England that doesn't have Tom Brady. Like, those teams now have holes that we could fill. It makes sense to do a rebuild. But as far as a new team that you just got to specifically do due to a player acquisition, I think Teddy Bridgewater becoming the new quarterback of the Carolina Panthers is definitely something I want to see how it plays out. Because I'm going to be honest with you as we start this video, I am not a truther of Teddy Bridgewater. I do not think he's that good of a quarterback. I think he's exactly what he was last year with the Saints. I think he's a backup. I think he's a valuable backup. But as far as a starting quarterback, I think he's average. You look at Teddy Bridgewater's career with Minnesota. You even look at what he was doing last year with the Saints. He found a way to win games. He had a pretty bad rookie year with the Minnesota Vikings. Then the second year, they were 11-5, and they went to the playoffs. But statistically, he was not that great. He was whelming. And then you look at what he did last year. If he would have played the whole season, he would have had, 20-some touches. He's not a prolific passer. And really, what it comes down to is he is a game manager. He is, in every sense of the word, like a middle-of-the-park quarterback. But the question will be, can Joe Brady, the man that Matt Rule has hired as offensive coordinator, the man that took Joe Burrow and transitioned his game from a transfer quarterback from Ohio State into the greatest quarterback maybe we've ever seen in a single season in college football, is he going to be able to tap into Teddy Bridgewater and finally reach that potential when Teddy Bridgewater was one of the most hyped up quarterbacks ever out of college? There's actually probably a point in time where Teddy Bridgewater maybe was more hyped than Lamar Jackson was at Louisville. So we're going to see how he plays out in this Madden sim. I actually have no idea how well he plays out in Madden sim. I don't really recall him going off for the Saints because usually he bounces after year one, and the Saints are a juggernaut in Madden sim. But it's going to be interesting to see because this is a roster right now. I tried to have the roster the same where it is in free agency. So guys that they've, as of right now, which is the 23rd of March, wash your hands, that this is a really bad looking roster. There's no other way to put it. They have lost a lot of talent. They've yet to replenish it. They're getting young. This is an all-out rebuild, I think, for Matt Rule. So we do have Teddy Bridgewater as our quarterback. Obviously, with Christian McCaffrey, I think one of the best running backs, top 2, top 3 running back in the National Football League. He might be the best running back, depending on what kind of style you're looking for a runner. He's phenomenal. Wide receiver, we got DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. Both these guys are absolutely in our long-term plans. There's no depth, though, at wide receiver, so I had to make a couple signings here and there. We got Taywan Taylor and Emmanuel Hall off the free agency wire. But really, it is going to be a DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel show. No more Greg Olsen, so Ian Thomas has got to take a big step up. And finally, what was he, mid-round pick at Indiana? I think he can. And he got Manhurst, one of the better blocking tight ends in the National Football League. But I think Ian Thomas has a chance to solidify himself as a solid starting tight end in the National Football League. They traded Trey Turner, their best lineman, for an aging Russell Okung. Mind-boggling deal, to be completely honest with you. I don't know what they were thinking, why they were doing that, unless Turner handed in that pink slip saying, trade me, get me off this team. I do not get this move. But we have Okung at left tackle. I converted tackle Dennis Staley to guard. We have Matt Paradis at center. I converted Greg Little from tackle to guard. And we have Taylor Moton here at right tackle. So, if we can get Greg Little and Dennis Staley both to develop, that is 3 long-term offensive linemen. Because we're only going to be doing a 5-year rebuild today. And we probably only need to get a center and left tackle, which is good. But that is obviously kind of putting on the shoulders that Daly and Greg Little can both develop at tackle. On the defense, so we got Pat Pastina. If you watch Rip City, you know how much of a monster he is. He was just sitting there in free agency because Obata is the only defensive end we had on roster. And they will be running a 3-4 here in Tampa, in Tampa. A 3-4 here in Carolina, which, I don't know that maximizes the roster strengths right now, but that's what Matt Rule is bringing with him from Baylor. Right end, we have K'Wan Short, who actually is a scheme fit for a 3-4. Inside at nose tackle, just some guys. I think Carolina definitely could be in play for this upcoming draft to get a Derek Brown plug-and-play day one starter at nose tackle. Clearly a weakness of this team. Linebacking core, we got Marquise Haynes at left outside linebacker. Not even really a scheme fit with that size as a 3-4 outside linebacker, but here we are. And we have Christian Miller as well from Alabama. Inside, Shaq Thompson is going to be filling massive shoes after Luke Kuechly announced his retirement. We have Jermaine Carter. I signed Ty Summers as a free agent. Summers usually develops really, really nicely for me in Madden, so he actually might be the partner in crime for Shaq Thompson in the middle of this defense. And then we got Brian Burns, who I think would be much better as a 4-3 defensive end, but we have him here as a 3-4 outside linebacker because, you know, it is the scheme. And the secondary, we got Dante Jackson. James Bradbury bounced to the New York Giants. They lost a lot of depth here, so I pretty much had to sign everyone. Really, the roster was Dante Jackson and Corn Elder. So we brought in Chris Westry, Stroman, Slim Jimmy, and Trevor Williams was just sitting there. And actually, did Philly sign him in real life? Cool. That's a good sign for the Eagles, at least from a Madden standpoint. Free safety, Trey Boston, he got re-signed. At strong safety, they decided to move on from Eric Reed. So we were able to sign Rod Teamer off the Chargers practice squad. Again, man, I don't even know how many long-term starters we have here. It's just a tough spot to be starting a rebuild with the Panthers because they still have a lot of business to get done and handled with in free agency, so we're making the most of it here. But ultimately, it does come down to the offense. It does come down to how far can Teddy Bridgewater take the Carolina Panthers. We know where Cam Newton peaked, and it's going to be tough not to compare Teddy to Cam, and Cam won an MVP, and he took the team to a Super Bowl where he didn't fall on a fumble. Can Teddy Bridgewater do the same over the next 5 years? We are going to find that out. Let's get into it. So at the end of year one, not great, 4-11-1 to start off the Teddy Bridgewater era. And I thought it was going to be great because he kicked off the very first game of the season. He had 5 touchdowns. He's the offensive player of the week. Looking at Teddy, though, those are good numbers, better than I expected. 4,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Run the ball, big year for McCaffrey. Receiving over 1,000 yards, DJ Moore. 8-7 for Ian Thomas. Is a great start for him as his first year as a starter. Taylor had pretty good numbers. Pretty much everyone did it fine. Shaq Thompson, insane season. Filling in for Luke Kuechly, 132 tackles, 12 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 picks. Probably earned himself a dev trade increase based upon those stats. Sacks are way down. Again, I hate 3-4 schemes. Interceptions are, you know, okay, I guess. Yearly awards MVP went to, okay, there we go. Mitchell Trubisky. Shaq Thompson is your defensive player of the year. For the rest of the individual awards, didn't have much. Did not have much, but at least we get to go in this draft and completely rebuild this team. Free agency at the end of year one. This is kind of where we're at now. So I'm only going to be signing guys that are actually still, as of today, on the free agency market because they could sign for the Panthers. So we got Von Bell at strong safety. We got Williams trying to bring him back at corner. I actually don't think he's the guy the Eagles got. I think they got the other guy, Davis. But I mean, pretty much just, you know, random Chargers corner. Tim Jernigan, formerly the Eagles, would be a great fit to come here and play on our defensive line. Zach Pascal from the Colts. I actually think he's back on the Colts, but I'm not 100% sure. And we need a slot wide receiver, so I might take liberties with this one player. Willie Henry, defensive end, Tease Tabor, and Nick Nelson in the secondary. So, I mean, even with all these signings, none of these are crazy deals. Most of them, even the ones that are expensive, are just 2-3 year deals at a piece. So, you know, we're still have tremendous salary cap going forward. Take a look at how our first draft went. I try to keep it kind of realistic, as I think this guy here all along is going to be their target. And it's Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson. Not really a 3-4 outside linebacker, but literally he plays everything. And we're going to pair him probably and keep him on that left outside spot. Just because, you know, clearly we got the production from Shaq Thompson inside at middle linebacker. And, you know, you do 2 middle linebackers, but I think we'll be better use Isaiah Simmons. Just playing the rover role everywhere on the defense because he can edge rush as well. He's just that freaky of a player. But obviously you want to use him as his run stuffer. Pass coverage ability, sideline to sideline, freak athlete. Second round, we got Yetur Gross Matos, defensive end from Penn State. 71 hidden dev trait. Probably also going to be able to start on that defensive line that needed complete retooling. We got Kyle Duggar and Lenore Ryan as our starting strong safety. 68 hidden dev trait. This guy here, big time player. I think he has a whole lot of upside and a good replacement for Eric Reed. We got Van Jefferson out of Florida to be maybe our slot wide receiver, as we did not land Zach Pascal in free agency. We got everyone else except that. We got Marcus Bailey, who actually could be groomed to be that next middle linebacker, along with Shaq Thompson, Isaiah Wilson, and Josiah Scott, rounding out the first draft of the Teddy Bridgewater Panthers rebuild. To get into year two, here's how our team is shaping up on the offensive side of things. Outside of Van Jefferson coming in to try and compete for a slot gig, nothing too crazy. I don't think there's any new dev traits, nothing like that. It's just it's an okay looking offense. Good thing is that everyone outside of really Okun is the right age that you want. They're all in their prime, entering their prime. Defensively, a little bit of a battle here. Defensive end between Gross Matos and Willie Henry, who with Henry we got him on a bargain free agency deal. We'll probably go with the dev trait for now. Jernigan will be our D tackle, K1 short D end. No real change up at corner. Von Bell will be our strong safety. We have Simmons at outside linebacker. I actually took Kyle Duggar, who is a safety linebacker hybrid, and we're actually going to have him try things out here at middle linebacker alongside Shaq Thompson, just so we can have Von Bell there. I mean, Duggar, kind of like Simmons, similar style players in the fact that they play defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Trey Boston actually went up a dev trait last year, which is kind of cool. He's an underrated safety for sure. So this is a team that's not nearly as bad as you think it would be at this point. And hopefully some of these dev traits do pan out to be better than just stars. I think we all know Isaiah Simmons is probably better than a star. But year 2, hopefully we're a little bit better than the 3rd worst team in the National Football League. So midway point of year 2, not much better for Carolina, 2-4. This is not going to be I told you so rebuild, but things are not great with Teddy so far. But our team's also, work in progress to give him benefit of the doubt. So look at a free agents here. Taylor Moton at right tackle, 3-year deal, $25.9 million. Yes, sir. We got Curtis Samuel, another guy that we definitely want for the remainder of the rebuild, 4-year deal. Get him locked up. Looking at our remaining free agents, though, we're probably good. Goodbye, Russell Okung. We are going to get younger when we can. So at the end of year 2, better, but still not where we want to be. 7-8-1. At least we're at last in the NFC South. That is a little bit of an upgrade. Look at the dev trades. We had a couple hidden devs from the previous draft on the defensive side. Isaiah Simmons came out, superstar dev. Kyle Duggar is a star dev, and Yetur Gross-Matos is also a star dev. Pretty much as expected if those guys were going to have dev traits. Looking at the regular season stats, Teddy Bridgewater still actually playing way better than expected. 31 touchdowns, 10 picks. His completion percentage is also up. Big year McCaffrey, Jordan Scarlett, 9 touchdowns. No dominant wide receiver, but literally everyone contributed, which is kind of expected here for Carolina. But we did have Van Jefferson in the slot versus, say, like a DJ Moore. That's why the numbers are a little bit skewed that way because, for whatever reason, slot wide receivers in the sim go off. Isaiah Simmons, really, really big year. Him and Shaq Thompson are definitely 2 linebackers we can build upon for the remaining 3 years of this rebuild. Sacks still a little bit down, but good production there from the rookie. 7 TFLs, 5 sacks. It's not too shabby. 5 picks. Von Bell, love seeing that. 4 for Trevor Williams, 3 for Isaiah Simmons. Quick look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Deshaun Watson in the NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Zeke, I don't think we're going to have anybody. Hey, look at Teddy and McCaffrey, 7 and 8. Defensive Player of the Year went to Jones. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Jerry Jeudy. Van Jefferson, runner-up. Defensive Player of the Year went to Isaiah Simmons. And oddly enough, Antoine Winfield was a player we were going to pick in the 2nd round before we decided to go with Gross-Matos. For the individual awards, there you go. You just hate to see that. 1 and 2. You just hate to see it. Teddy at number 5. For the rest of the individual awards, Von Bell is your best defensive back, so we could be in store for a dev trade upgrade. But 2 years in of the 5-year Panther Teddy Bridgewater rebuild, and it's been a failure to date. Pretty big names here for free agency as we get ready for the 3rd season, and I'm going to spend just a little bit here on trying to land Laramie Tunsil left tackle. I'm not going to overpay because I always have this weird suspicion that offensive line doesn't really have that much to do with Sim, but given where we are right now, we have okay salary. We do have to pay Christian McCaffrey next year, so I'm not going to go crazy because obviously he is the most important player, but if we can land in Tunsil left tackle and have a left tackle set in place for the remainder of the rebuild, that'd be a little bit of peace of mind, but this is a really, really good free agency period, and I only really want to spend a lot of money in one position, and that's going to be trying to land Laramie Tunsil. Kiss my ass, bud. So I just want to do something. Jalen Ramsey is still there, so we're not gonna go crazy, but we're gonna come with a 92-point bid. And okay then. Draft recap time. First draft with the the Madden generated classes, and it's felt good. Felt good getting back into it. First round, we get Stephen McAllister, corner of Arkansas, 76, normal dev, number 8 in true talent. Almost a scheme fit. Most likely going to come in, lock down that corner 3, which we desperately needed. Second round, we got Devron Bernard, who's going to be a defensive end in this scheme. Probably the late successor to Kawan Short, because he still has a couple more years left. So he's going to be a nice little developmental player with that hidden dev. Third round, we got Cordell Carver, 74, hidden dev wide receiver out of Penn State. Perfect for the slot, as you can see, 95 acceleration, terrific looking player. We got Demetrius Johnson, guard from West Virginia, 74 normal, scheme fit, awesome. We got Demarius Williams, 69 hidden dev tackle, awesome. And then we just whiffed on a pick. I'm telling you right now, 32 is now the new scam. When you see 32 reps on a bench press, anything over 32, draft them. Anything less 32 or less, they're just baiting you to making a bad pick. But other than that, man, one of the best draft classes we've had in recent memory, and we definitely need this. Year 3 for the Panthers. First 2 years have not been great, but now we've built ourselves up from a team that was in complete rebuild to 84s across the board. Very well-rounded squad. When you look at the offense, everything is obviously continuing to develop nicely. Cordell Craver is going to be starting in the slot. Offensive line remains pretty damn strong, to be honest with you. We're going with the late round pick. What was it, our 6th round pick? 5th, 6th round pick is going to be starting at right tackle. Good luck to you. When you look at the defense, I love this defense. I think this is going to be a really, really good defense. Look at all the shine. Not a lot of bronze, a.k.a. 0 bronze on this defense. Kyle Duggar's emerging as a really nice middle linebacker. Isaiah Simmons is a beast. Von Bell, very good. Did not go up dev trait, I don't think. Or did he? Was he normal? Yeah, he did. He did go up dev. That's good. Okay, obviously, he's projecting very well for the future of this squad. So I really do like this defense. And offensively, again, we're pretty much going to go only as far as Teddy, or most likely Christian McCaffrey can carry our squad. But, you know, we made a big leap from year 1 to year 2. And hopefully here in year 3, we can crack the playoffs. Maybe even run the gauntlet throughout the wild card. Ultimate point of year 3, we are garbage. 1 and 4 bottom dwellers of the NFC South. Contracts, well, you know, that's why this is maybe the upside of not landing a Jalen Ramsey, the upside of not landing a Larry Tunsil, is that we should be able to sign these guys freely. So we got McCaffrey locked in, we got Dante Jackson locked in, Trey Boston 2-year deal. Maybe not. I mean, look at it. Okay, we definitely want Ian Thomas. I think Ian Thomas is a fairly solid tight end. We're not going to get a better upgrade in free agency. That is a lot of guys that we're going to be set to lose. We give Tim Jernigan a 1-year deal. No, he wants to make more money. Okay. Maybe a 1-year deal for Matt Paradis. One less position we need to replace. Nope, he wants more money. All right, Trey Boston, you have this chance to accept this or else. All right, all these guys can kiss my ass. And year 3 of the Teddy Bridgewater era, and 6 and 10 bottom dwellers of the NFC South. Don't know what to tell you, fellas. Think this is gonna be rough. Looking at our dev traits, Williams came out as a star. Craver came out as a star, of course. Defensively, Bernard came out as a star. Heaven forbid we get the benefit of the doubt of getting a superstar, but our team's good on paper. It's just something's missing leak. And honestly, I want to turn this around and say it's Teddy sucking, but this is like the first 2 years Teddy Bridgewater put up 30-plus touchdowns. I can't be mad at that, but this is not good, man. Averaging 200 yards per game. Our offense was horrible. I mean, that is not good numbers for McCaffrey. No receivers had, you know, DJ Moore. I guess that's kind of acceptable. There's that's okay numbers there for Craver. Well, you know, it is what it is. I hate to say I told you so. Excuse me. That burp, that indigestion is because I'm trying to process this damn rebuild. It's not good. It's not going down easy. I need some Pepto-Bismol. I feel gross. Yeah, Isaiah Simmons coming number 8. For individual, we're probably not going to have nobody. So, yeah, year 3, wash. An absolute wash. We got 2 years left for Teddy Bridgewater to just shock the world and play really well. Year 3 into year 4 free agency presents very obvious temptations, we'll call it, with Lamar Jackson. But this is the Teddy Bridgewater rebuild. We're doing it. So, our negotiation, we're going to look at Brian O'Neill, and we're going to flip him to be our right tackle. Or left tackle, or either him or Moten. One of them will be our right tackle, one will be our left tackle. Just see if that's a quick upgrade. And then Deshaun Hand at defensive end would flip him over to right defensive end to take over and be a younger upgrade from K1 Short. Probably K1 Short. Maybe he's a Panther legend, one of the better defensive players I've ever had, but it's time to get younger. We got Brian O'Neill to sign, but not Deshaun Hand. So what? Yeah, you know, he's still here. We'll give K1 Short a 1-year deal. But our last draft that could really impact the rebuild, because, you know, year 5 drafts don't really do much. I think we did a pretty decent job here. We got defensive tackle Bruce Buck, 78 hidden dev. He could actually play defensive end. He's just really damn good. Strong, fast, no real weaknesses. I do want to see another D tackle that we picked over. Like, we picked him over another guy. We'll see what it does. We got Bill Rivers. We need a new center to take over Matt Paradis. 75 hidden dev, as well as a scheme fit. We got a 71 D tackle, 68 corner here out of Colorado. Also brought in a hidden dev, which is nice value. 70 guard, and then I just simmed it after that because my draft board was gone. But I do want to see, there was like a 6'7" defensive tackle that went in the first round. Our guy, let's see, it wasn't him. We got Bruce Buck. It was Kyle Raymond, 77. He also is a hidden dev. Let's just sneak a peek here. He's a hidden star. Okay, so let's see what Buck can emerge. If he's 1 overall point better, and he's obviously going to be at least equal to a star dev. Hopefully, it is a superstar. 4 for the Panthers. Please don't suck. We are up to an 86 overall, 88 offense. Put more than enough weapons around Teddy Bridgewater for him to succeed. We signed Rashad Penny late to help balance out this backfield just a little bit. But look, obviously, Samuel and Moore, one of the better 1-2 punches at wide receiver in the NFL. Brian O'Neill will be our new tackle. Rivers, our second-round pick, will be starting at center. So it's a really well-rounded offensive line across the board. Looking at the defense, a couple changes here. We're actually going to have Bernard go over Kawan Short. Let's just go for the youth as we gear up for year 5. As well as we signed Devin McCourty. He was still chilling in free agency. We needed another safety to pair with Von Bell, so we did that. Duggar's developing nicely. Isaiah Simmons is now a superstar X Factor with the Zone Hawk ability, so hopefully that helps him get a couple more interceptions, even though he's been really, really good. I think he's averaging like 3 interceptions a game since or 3 interceptions a season since he's been in the league. Buck will be starting at defensive tackle. Hope this guy can be something better than a star. As, yeah, year 4. Come on, Teddy, do something. Midway point of year 4, better, I guess. It's still really early to get an idea where we're going to finish the season, but we're kind of in the mix for the NFC South, 2-2. It could be a lot worse. Contracts right at the rip. You see DJ Moore absolutely is getting himself some new money. We've been not spending a lot in free agency, so we're able to retain our own. Brian Burns getting himself big-time money. We got Trevor Williams, who's awesome. He's actually emerged very nicely as a solid corner for us. Greg Little's been a pretty solid guard, 4-year deal. Absolutely, lock him up. All these guys very happy with their contracts. I would like to say that maybe Rashad Penny, when all said and done at the end of the year, could earn himself another contract. Not exactly sure, but we got all the main targets locked in. End of year 4, and we failed to make the playoffs. 7-9. We're second in the South. You got to find small victories here. Wow, our team's good. I'm rebuilding the shit out of this team, to be honest with you. And we got Rivers, who we drafted, hidden dev. He earns up to be a superstar center. Cool. Pretty cool. Looking at the defense, Buck, star dev. As expected. What is this guy? Hartwell. Lincoln Hartwell, superstar dev corner that we got. He was like our 4th-round pick. Sure. Hell yeah. Okay, we'll take that. We'll bump him out the depth chart here just a spot. Again, not really sure why we're sucking. I think Teddy Bridgewater played okay last time I checked his stats. That's not bad. 33 touchdowns for Teddy Bridgewater. 13 interceptions. Running attack was fine. No dominant receiver, I guess, if you had to pick it out. But that's just the style, the scheme of our offense. Shaq Thompson and Simmons both had pretty solid years. Sacks have not been there. Again, just I relate it back to I hate a 3-4 scheme in a Madden sim. They just don't get pressure. 18th offense, middle of the park. We had the 22nd defense. Definitely for Matt Rule, who's like almost a defensive guy. You know, even though I'm pretty sure he played like when he was in the NFL. I think he won a Super Bowl. I was like the O-line coach, something like that for the Giants. But in college, it's always his defense that got the job done. Well, Shaq Thompson, runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. The rest of the individual awards. Jesus, imagine. I think we had the kicker of the year. Imagine dealing with Lamar and Saquon on the same team. Good God. But another wash year. We got one more year. Super Bowl or bust. Can Teddy Bridgewater even get them into the playoffs? I have my doubts. Over our final free agency, we might as well spend where we can. And TJ Hawkinson has now become available, which is a 10-point upgrade at the tight end position to help out Teddy. As well as we're looking at bringing in Earl Thomas as a final 1-year band-aid at that free safety spot. It didn't work out with Devin McCourty, but Earl Thomas is a different type of monster. And hopefully he's exactly what we need in that safety duo. So here's our final draft for the Teddy Panthers rebuild. Just kind of, you know, we made 3 picks. I traded back up into the second round, traded a 3rd, 4th, and a backup center just to see what this quarterback could potentially be. 73 normal, nothing too special. I mean, obviously, if you were playing this and going long term, it could be a nice little option. Second round, we get a middle linebacker, Wayne Melton, 75, hidden dev out of Oregon. Really nice looking playmaker. Kyle Duggar's actually kind of stunted on his growth. I thought he'd be a lot better than where he's at right now. And then we got Ricky Sweeney, just because we had that 1-year deal on Earl Thomas. made the most sense because, I mean, obviously we're not going to draft any starters. So getting a long-term plan at free safety, 76 hidden dev. I think he was top 10 in true talent, so it might be a superstar. I don't know. But solid depth for right now on this team. Okay draft, especially very top-heavy. Final chance for Teddy to prove that this was not an awful deal from the Panthers, even though he only signed for 3, and we're actually doing it for 5 here. He's yet to break at 80 overall. That's where we're at there. I mean, just look at the skill position. 97, 99, almost a 9, like, really good. We brought in TJ Hawkinson, 93 overall tight end. You could not have him in a better scenario. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen this year for Teddy Bridgewater in year 5. Defensively, we are very, very good. Young. Everyone's entering their prime for the most part. The linebacking core is pretty damn good. Bringing in vets. Sprinkled in some vets. Like Earl Thomas. Come on. Get the job done, man. Hey, can I get one guy to get 10 sacks here? God, 3-4 defenses are awful. Okay, and so we finished year 5, our final year of the Teddy Panthers, 6-10. 90 overall, 93 overall offense, 6-10. I want to say it's foreshadowing. Hey, Teddy's in the 80s. That's something. But even with the big addition of TJ Hawkinson, not good enough for this team to get the job done. And it's kind of how I feel. I'm not going to let Madden foreshadow or be confirmation bias to what I feel. I just feel like Teddy Bridgewater is slightly better than just a guy at quarterback. You know? He played, 2 years with the Vikings, and both years with the Vikings, there were still questions about whether or not he's going to be the guy. And last year with New Orleans, you know, he won. I guess he's one of those things, he found a way to win games, but he didn't do it prettily. You know, he wasn't throwing for 4 or 5 touchdowns a week, you know, and he had all those crazy weapons there, and the very QB friendly scheme. So I guess the one thing I will end with, because I don't want to, turn this into an anti-Ted. I don't have any problem with Teddy Bridgewater. And truth be told, for a Madden sim, he never really played horribly outside of that 2021 year. He's averaged, 30 touchdowns a year, which is good enough in a Madden sim to win. It's just, in real life, the thing that's not going to take it into consideration is in real life, people are Panther fans and just fans of Teddy in general are going to hope Teddy, a guy like Joe Brady is going to be able to develop Teddy Bridgewater. You're not really going to have that in a Madden setting, but, final year, not great. We never really had dominant performances from DJ Moore. Christian McCaffrey was good, not amazing. Sometimes I've seen McCaffrey get 1,900 rushing yards. He's never really hit that. Isaiah Simmons and Shaq Thompson did play very well. Absolutely, these guys played well. I think one thing that hurt this team is 3-4 defenses are awful in a Madden sim. That's another thing that can kind of stack against it. But ultimately, we did this rebuild to see what Teddy Bridgewater could do on the Carolina Panthers, and there's no other way to cut it than it was disappointing. It was absolutely disappointing, and our best record was 7-7-1. Is that going to come through to real life? I don't know. I made him a tweet today. And it's a little bit of a hot take, and I don't want to seem... I'm not an anti-Teddy guy, but I'm an anti-Teddy Bridgewater getting $60-some million. I think I would rather, because the news broke that the Panthers signed the Patrick Mahomes of the XFL and P.J. Walker. I think, honestly, P.J. Walker, 4-year starter under Matt Rule at Temple, I think I would take P.J. Walker on pennies on a dollar. Like, it's going to be ridiculous cheap with Joe Brady. I'd take that scenario over Teddy at $60 million on Joe Brady. Now, I'm not saying that, obviously, Teddy Bridgewater is probably, at this point, a better quarterback than P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker dominated a developmental league, and when he was playing in the NFL in the preseason, he was just average, just a guy for the Colts. But I think if, it's either side's a gamble, and I'd rather take the cost-efficient gamble in P.J. Walker, because if that doesn't work out, you're in prime position to get a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields next year, versus just having a guy that I think in Teddy Bridgewater, that's, an average quarterback. And being locked into an average quarterback means you're going to have an average draft pick, which is never going to be in the right spot to get a game changer at quarterback like Lawrence or Fields. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. What do you guys want to see next? What kind of rebuilds do you want to see next? Obviously, we're going to get back into the realistic rebuilds. Probably teams like the Patriots without Tom Brady and the Texans without DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to get themselves pushed up those lists. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to obviously get back into the rhythm of things with Rip City. Speaking of P.J. Walker, we're going to get back into things with the Flashback Pinks. We had an episode dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Really big battle there between Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. And then we're going to get into draft content sooner than later. We just got to wait till free agency was, kind of starting to settle, which is where we're at right now. But I just don't know what kind of content I'm going to do for the draft videos. I don't know if I want to commit to doing 32 team 7-round mock drafts. Those take a lot of time to do. Maybe I just do a meat and potatoes kind of mock draft, do like the first 3 rounds or something like that, first 3-4 rounds for every team. Essentially cutting in half, because really when you get to the day 3, it's just me kind of talking about guys that I really like on day 3, because no one knows where a team's going to draft, what picks they're going to have in the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. But what do you guys want to see for draft content? Make sure you let me know in the comment section below so I kind of know what direction and start, so I can start planning that stuff out, because it's the virus. Wash your hands. I got a lot of time on my hands. Actually, I technically have less time on my hands because I work from home, so nothing really changed. But now I just have my kid running around all day, so maybe that's why I kind of want to figure out a plan and a direction for how I'm going to present the draft content on the channel this year. But that does it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.